Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for more Retro Monday OVAdrive, and that means Patlabor Episode 3 or OVA 3 or whatever you want to call it. We've got Patlabor, the early days, or the mobile police, or whatever you want to call it. Episode 3, the 450 million year old trap, which is a very old crossdresser. I'm sorry. So, last week on Patlabor, we had another excellent episode. My tingle of best girl senses was somewhat confirmed with Kanuka Clancy's arrival and some really amazing cuts of hair blowing in the wind. I know I geeked out about that for way too long. It'll probably happen again. I'm not sorry. Yeah, she's great. I like her a lot. She's very cool. This Hawaiian Japanese English speaking lady girl. She's neat. But our main focus on last episode, or our thematic thread through the episode, was flight, with Noah reaching for the sky and falling a little bit short. First, she had a big dream where she was soaring majestically through the heavens on the back of her noble steed, the souped-up flight pack-enabled Alphonse, before realizing that no, this is real robot show, and we don't do the super robot things because that's a super robot thing, so no, can't do that. But she got her opportunity a little bit later to take to the skies, let's say, by hitching a less than elegant ride on the bottom of a large blimp with the assistance of its gung-ho insane captain, and managing to hop-skip about 15 feet over an overpass that was otherwise blocking her way. And in retrospect, after thinking about this and going through what I wanted to say here at the beginning, I realized that there was absolutely no reason for her to cross that thing. Like, she actually plays zero role in disarming the bomb or stopping any of the problems or anything. There's no reason for her to jump over that bridge. It's just for her. And that's kind of neat in its own way, that she was pretty much irrelevant to the crisis at hand and still got all of that focus on just getting to fly. It was pretty cute. And then there was the wonderfully tense ending sequence with the bomb slated to go off real soon, and Kanuka Clancy giving instructions through the earpiece and like, cut the wire. Oh, there are two. Oh no, what do we do? And it was nice. It was good. And awesome framing and good stuff all the way through. It's really good. This show is really good. I like it a lot. Yeah. That's what I've got, and we've got the 450 million year old trap. From what I remember of the little stinger thingy that we got at the very end of the last episode, what I saw kind of looked like original Gojira parody. Like we were trying to go down that route of there being some kind of a kaiju, but then we'll probably undercut it later and make it more of a jokey thing. So I'm expecting like mad scientists or like nuclear testing or otherwise, or like chemical overflow. Things like that are going to cause something to awaken, probably in the ocean, and it'll be big and scary. Or I'm totally misreading everything that has come at me from the little stinger thing at the end, and it'll be totally different. Either way, I'm feeling like we're kind of going to settle into a formula here where we'll have some more policey stuff and character-y stuff in the first half of the episode, and then transition into some kind of crisis that turns into something exciting, with a like time limit or like 24-ish type of spy things or police stuff dealing with problems or dealing with terrorists or whatever in the second half of the episode. But we'll see how that breaks down and whether that ends up being really consistent as we go along through Patlabor. But I'm happy with that. I'm happy with pretty much anything that the show does at this point. It's been so solid so far. I can't see it doing anything but continuing to be really solid and fun. So let's just watch some more Patlabor and we'll have fun with it. So I've got oh yeah, and then there is the subtitle problem. So I've figured out what the issue is, and why I've been having to edit the subtitles every time. The subtitle track that I have doesn't account for the eye catches in the middle of the episode, so it's always about 5 seconds off once we cross over the eye catches. So I will stop the video once we cross over the eye catches, get the subtitle track ready and then like make sure that we're good to go, and restart, and I'll just edit that away in post so that it disappears. It won't be visible in the timer version, and it won't be visible in the picture-in-picture version. It'll just be poop, it'll be gone. Which means that I'll probably see the first line or two after the eye catches before they actually show up on screen for you. So if I don't like react to them, it's because I've already seen them. I'm just telling you all this now so that you know what's up. But that's what's up, and the subs that we've had have been good, so I'm not going to change them up. It's just a mild inconvenience for editing me a little bit later. No big sweat. Okay, let's watch episode 3 of Patlabor. I've got it up and ready to go. It's sitting at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you would like to do a syncy thing and sync up your own copy of this episode with the timer-based version, just make sure that you've got your copy of the episode ready to go, because the beep beep timer that is going to count you down will be coming at you now. I kind of lost myself in the middle of that. Jeez. I got the right subtrack, right? Yes, good. Hyper technology. Labor. And OP, right? Cool fighty sequence. There we go. I really like this OP so much. It's so energetic and happy. I love it. I love it. Honestly, it reminds me of Groove and Magic. Just the way that it makes me feel reminds me of Groove and Magic. There are not that many anime OPs that just make me feel purely happy, and that is one of them. All right, so we are on the ocean, I think. I think that's what that was. Okay, I got an Audi and a lady listening to lo-fi melodic beats to prostitute to, I think. All right, that's a sea monster. Interesting. Man, I don't know anybody who can chug a Coke that fast. Oh, he thinks he just got scammed. But he didn't. His date got murdered. What is that? What is it? Target practice? He just wants to shoot a gun. He just wants to shoot a gun. Yeah, this is my time. Alright, it's just target practice. Also, that thing looks like a noise. Symphogear noise, you know? You know which ones I mean, right? The ones that shoot out their arms? Yeah, of course you're excited by that. What do you mean? Yeah. You scrape together a shotgun? Oof. Okay. What am I looking at? Okay, Babylon Project again. Okay, so you're gonna use one of the pilots? I love this shot. Okay, not prostitution. My bad. So she's unharmed. Like a giant labor. Sounds like a big old labor. Maybe an undersea construction labor? Made for building oil rigs or piers or part of the Babylon Project? Because the Babylon Project is like... is reclaiming land, right? Okay. Oh. Huh. It's always a good fishing spot, now all the fish are gone. Hey, what scared away the fishies? What's going on? Well, this guy's the harbinger of future problems. What do you know, old man? You don't even seem that old, just roughed up. Hard life. Ooh. I mean, he clearly has some critical information that we're gonna need. Oh, Shige's gonna do it. Okay. No one knows what's good for her. What is under the sea? What will you find, Shige-san? Are all three of them inside it? Or is it entirely remote? No. The expansion of his face. Oh my gosh. That whole shot was so wonderfully warped. Yeah, just that's all you can see. So serious. Nothing. I love this shot too. Holy crap. Huh? Is it? So, like an underwater cave where something could be hiding? Whoa, the beam illuminating the dust. Aw. Found the car. This is where it was pulled. There's motion. Yeah, careful, careful. We don't really want to fuck with whatever's down. Wow, the beams are so cool. It's a living thing. That's pretty big. 45 feet in length. It's pretty big. We're not going to get to see it. We're not going to get to see it. Perfect. Nope. All we get is the scale. Ah, good. Good, 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 good. Never show your monster. The news reporting on it. Unfortunately, we don't have subs. There we go. Hey? Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that Kanuka Clancy is sticking around. It's a whale? Ah, okay. Just slipping into telling stories. Okay, so this is parody. This is parody. Yeah. All right, we need guy with white stripes in his hair. Dry ice. Ha. What is he gonna do with all the dry ice? Nobody does. He's trying to cover himself. He's trying not to get. Mm-hmm. What kind of game are you playing? Oh, there's the eye catch. I'll get ready to cut. Okay, so I cut there because the subs get messed up by the eye catches. And now we're good. Ah. Provisionally acknowledge the existence. Okay. They're listening to the OP? Ah. But they're all thinking along the lines of Gojira tropes. Oh, hello. There he is. Hello, obviously important character. So that's a real song in universe? Why did he freak out? Biotech Lab. Hirata Biotech Laboratory. Is this where Shige is working? With the dry ice? Or is this where dark hair, white stripes guy works? Is that Kanuka? Oh, he brought them all here. Mm-hmm. And it has to do with life originating from outer space, right? Yeah. 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 It's totally unproven, and there's absolutely no evidence for it. Okay. I sense flashbacks. Bingo! Hmm. So you assumed they would have to be inside the meteor. Hmm. How do you know you didn't contaminate your sample? Hmm. This is true. That's the question. Yeah, maybe you contaminated your sample. I don't buy that. I would need validation. Did you put whatever was in the thing into Solka? Did you genetically engineer a whale? Did you Jurassic Park this shit? You never Jurassic Park this shit. Come on. Wow, that's great. Duality. Mentions the mackerel combos that he loves. That's great. Oh, we're getting a life montage. Whoa. Oh, hey, we got vertebrates. Nope, now they're terrestrial vertebrates. That was a quick transition from ancient fishy to dino. But oh, that's not good. So you did create Gojira. Ah. Now, are we gonna play this seriously, or are we gonna undercut and turn this into a joke? You seem you seem a little unhinged there, little buddy. Motherfuck. Really? The big guns. Okay. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. I will do anything you say. Yes. All right, let's go fight not Gogeta. This is all build up to a big joke, isn't it? All of this celebratory, yay, woo, they're gonna save us all stuff. Like, this isn't normal for them going on an expedition. Ah. His dry ice, eh? I wonder what for. Why is there this gigantic crowd? What the fuck? There's a parade all along the road. All the roads are closed. What? Oh, hi. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. All right, what are we dealing with? No? Oh. Okay. Let us stand our vigil. And stood with your arms folded. The high voltage current plan. Okay. Which would be immediately dispersed by seawater. Just like. Zzzt. Yeah, let's maybe not do that. Oh, we're just gonna go through a bunch of plans. Again, the subs are slightly off, but that's okay. I'm not. Fuck. That's exactly what we don't want. Yeah. Let's just ask it to go away. Isn't that the plot to one of the big kaiju films? essentially. Hmm. Hmm. Uh-huh. Shige? It's gotta be Shige, right? That's our setup. Motherfucker. What is he doing? Oh. Oh. That'll also kill all the fish for a long distance. Oh, does it work? Seems like it worked. Kind of. And it is... Ha. Not a reptile, but a giant great ape. Oh. What's the play, Yamazaki? Brother? Yeah. This sea monster is just gonna take off. He's just gonna piece the fuck out. What? With the music going off into the sunset. Almost. And character wakes up. Nope. There are 3 minutes left, so maybe. Like, we're entering credits, but there are 3 minutes left, so there's something else here. What the fuck? All right. Explain. Or not. Okay, so those 2 minutes at the end do not exist for whatever reason. Okay. The 450 million-year-old trap. What a ridiculous episode. Wow. What a ridiculous episode. So it's definitely the most tongue-in-cheek that the show has gotten so far. And the whole episode is a parody of a variety of other media. Everything from the mad scientist who's obsessed with recreating life to the actual appearance of the monster, and more importantly the way that we hold off from actually showing the monster, to the anticlimactic ending, to the Shige with a big bomb reveal, but it's actually bullshit, but the bullshit still works, to the hordes of police officers scrambling to run there, to the cheer squad as they depart, um which is totally out of place and really doesn't make sense, having everybody, not just the people involved or the mechanics and stuff, but everybody cheering them on like heroes going to save the world, as though they're about to go fight a real genuine threat to humanity. Because I guess they kind of are. And the way that they're sort of just like, yes, I deserve this praise for what I am about to do. Noah just standing there on the thing, what's his face driving and smiling to himself. This is ridiculous. This whole episode is ridiculous. This whole sequence where we flash through all of the impossible plans that won't actually work. Ridiculous. The whole thing is operating in the world of kaiju tropes, but it's also not. It's also playing with them and turning them into a joke. What I'm curious about is why. I mean, it makes for a fun story, and I had a ton of fun with it on just the surface level, just the base level of this is a ridiculous kaiju story with these characters, and it's tongue in cheek. But then why? Kaiju narratives are a particular kind of fear. They embody a particular kind of fear. Um, film theory wise, different monsters in film have different, like, they indicate different societal concerns. The rise of zombie movies being one that can be pretty easily poked at. You can turn to zombie movies and say that, like, in eras when there is no grand external threat, when the threat that we actually fear ends up being conformity and the masses, that's what the zombie movie ends up representing. Since the Romero days, that's been part of the theory behind it. Kaiju films are a little bit different because there are particular movies that deal with particular fears, Gojira being the most obvious of them, and being about nuclear weapons, coming in the wake of a nuclear attack, and being heavily critical of American military policy, and also of the fears of radiation, contamination, mass destruction, all of that stuff. And then the most recent Godzilla movie was a rehash of some of the same thematic ideas, but instead of being a specific external threat in America, it was more of a rampant natural disaster based off of the earthquake and the nuclear reactor disaster. What is this working with, though? Like, it's interacting with the tropes of this particular breed of film that's usually an external large-scale threat turned into, or like anthropomorphized into, an entity that becomes the monster of the film. Now we have that kind of a monster, one that threatens humanity, but its existence is a joke? Why? What is the intent here? I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to think about it. And I might not come up with an answer, and there might not be an answer, right? I might be overthinking, and that's totally valid. It happens. But there's a lot put into this episode, and it feels to me like it's trying to operate on more than one level. I'm just not sure how. Beyond that stuff, which I'll continue to think about, beyond that stuff, there was a lot of really excellent just everything in this episode, all throughout. From the jeez, there are so many things. The sequences when they're in the sub, yeah, and the warped perspective with the investigator's face being blown way out of proportion for no real good reason, ridiculous and wonderful. The beams of light that come off of the sub that illuminate cones of dust and sparkles are fantastic. I think those are really cool. And then shots like this that continue to do what we've seen before, utilizing highlights and darkness to create these wonderful landscapes out of faces and bodies is what I think of it as. Like, this character in the foreground is a landscape. He's a part of the frame. It's super cool. And then the innumerable ways we hide the existence of the monster and keep from showing it until the very last minute. Classic horror directing done right. You don't want to show off the monster. And the base reason for that is that in horror movies, usually the monster is not that scary. Especially low budget horror movies that are kind of like what this would be parodying, especially kaiju movies or big monster from the lagoon type films where it's a dude in a rubber suit, because it's always a dude in a rubber suit. Pre-CG era stuff, right? You don't want to show off the monster in the beginning because people are going to see it and go, that's a dude in a rubber suit, I'm not afraid. Instead, you build up to it, right? You build and you build and you build the tension without showing the monster, only showing reactions to the monster. And eventually you get under the skin of the audience and they start to fear this thing that is still unknown. And then when they actually do see it, if they do see it, and you don't actually have to show it, but you usually do. When they do actually see it, they associate that fear with it. And so it's less weird to see a dude in a rubber suit. But I love so many things about the way that it's hidden and the way that we build the tension. Oh, it's good. It's good. And I love these beams. I wonder how they're doing that. I mean, in terms of mats or whatever. Do you think it's a series of conical cells that they're applying to it with sporkles on them? Or do you think it's a layer of darkness over a full layer of sporkles, and they're cutting away portions of it? Or do you think it's two layers of darkness, the same darkness, and then they're like two pieces of paper? They're shifting them like this to create the beam to see through. I wonder. I don't know. Yeah, we don't get to see it. We get to see the scale of it, and then all of our tech wigs out, and all we get is darkness. So good. So good. And then aftermath. Boom, boom, boom. Also, this sequence is a direct reference to a film. Ooh. I'm gonna look it up. Okay, yeah, it's so ubiquitous that there's not really like a particular origin point or spinning newspapers and stuff. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Oh man, the voice that he goes into. Yeah, this whole sequence, is so good. I don't know if I can do justice to how well done this whole sequence is, because it's simultaneously like it's playing the trope of the guy who's seen some shit, like the old fisherman who's seen some stuff and is telling a tale over the you know at the bar, right? That's essentially what we've got going here, except that it's Shige. It's a character that we know, and so the fact that it's a character that we know and he's acting different than we know he normally acts, although he's a weird one, clues us in that there's a joke going on here. And then our knowledge of the trope that he's telling this tall tale as a tall tale, but it's actually real because we got to see part of it, is another layer of the joke. It's so weird. And then everything in the direction and the way that this scene is put together makes that happen. This ultra slow zoom in on him with his eyes covered is exactly that. It nails it. It that kind of thing demonstrates such a such a broad and deep knowledge of film that it's just so cool to see. And the knowledge that's on display is so obviously broader and deeper than my own that I can do nothing but be impressed by it and hope that I can glean bits and pieces from it. Fuck. That's so cool. Him with the white stripes in his hair. Is that something? I don't know. This whole thing is great though. The framing of him on the green background behind him and the pervasive glow of the stuff around him creating this almost supervillain-esque lair, although he's not really a supervillain. Super neat. The flashback, good stuff. And then the way that he is just freaking out. And the joke to it. Are you really sure? Are you absolutely positive that you didn't just fuck up during your experimentation process and contaminate the sample? Because that happens all the time. You gotta be really careful about it. And his answer is almost a non sequitur. I'm really sure I washed my hands with particular brand of soap. I assume antibiotic and antibacterial soap. Cresol soap. Yeah, it's Lysol. Yeah, sodium alkylbenzene sulfonate. Cool. So I washed my hands with antibacterial soap. There's no way that life could have gotten in there. And then he experimented, and we get a life montage that just sort of jumps to dinosaurs. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And the obsession with guns, the insane parade, the final reveal of the monster eventually after this whole plan montage sequence, which just gets like more goofy with the food that they're eating. Like they start out all drinking coffee, and then they're all eating onigiri, and then they're all just chowing down on ramen like crazy, like gangbusters. Ridiculous. Think of humanity. Think of the earth. The invention of the devil. Building it up, building it up, building up, and nothing. And then for some reason, what's his name? Yamashita? I don't know. Yamashiro? Yamazaki. And he has some kind of kinship with the monster. Brother. Brother. And so he wanders off into the distance. And the music for it is perfect. Perfect. This whole episode is utterly bonkers. Okay, I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to try to rack my brain for any kind of significance here and try and think of a deeper level to this because I'm desperate to believe that this is more than it seems to be. I know that it is more than it seems to be, but I'm desperate to understand how. So give me a minute. I'm going to go through the episode again. Oh. Okay, two things. One thing is the oxygen destroyer. It's been a while since I've watched the original Godzilla. To be fair, I think since would have been junior year of college, so third year of college, so like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah, it's been a little while. Watched it for Japanese film class, which was fun. But what I didn't remember was that the oxygen destroyer is the weapon that they eventually used to actually kill the original Godzilla. They use a thing that splits all the oxygen out of the ocean and kills Godzilla. And it looks exactly like the one that we saw here. And I'm going to guess that the Shige scene where he appears on the boat is also really similar to the original Gojira. I'd have to go and actually like download the original Gojira to watch through it to get most of the tropes probably. Okay, there are some other things. The thing on the buoy that they shoot as target practice for the gun is an alien Balton from Ultraman, right? Yeah. And the reason that it looks like that particular noise from Symphogear is because that particular noise from Symphogear is kind of a reference to the Ultraman alien Balton. Okay, pieces are coming together here. That this is a love letter and simultaneously a parody of the original Godzilla and kaiju movies as a whole is very apparent. Very apparent. And a whole lot of things about it make it apparent. And make it great. Like opening scene of the docks, the spookiness here, the smexy woman whose eyes we never see. This is classic horror movie stuff, right? Like Cabin in the Woods goes in on this portion of things pretty heavily, of horror movie tropes that people must, or the victims of horror films must trespass in some way. They must do something wrong that makes them deserving in some fashion of the horror that is to come. And one of the most frequent ways that people trespass is by having sex. It's like the biggest thing. The most frequent thing in horror movies is to have sex. Promiscuity is the surest way to get yourself killed in a horror film. Besides, like checking on the noise upstairs or reading the Latin or things like that. But promiscuity is one of the easy ways. So we have a woman who's obviously sexually active, and that makes her a valid target for monstrous things. Same goes for a lot of horror films. A lot. Okay, the boyfriend is gone, getting a Coke, drinking it down, and my VLC is frozen. Fucking hell, VLC, why you do this to me? Alright, I'm not making any headway actually figuring out anything else about this episode. It's a love letter to Godzilla and kaiju films, and it subverts them by having the monster just walk away. And it's pretty fucking fun, and it's pretty funny, and there are lots of fun side characters added in, like this investigator character. And I love the shots where he's introduced and just all of the shots of this whole location and this conversation, particularly this one. So good. I like this episode a lot. It's a weird one, and it definitely dispenses with some of the more Patlabor-y things. Oh yeah, the OP being a song on the TV. Awesome. It dispenses with some of the more Patlabor-y things in order to make this love letter happen, and it works. I think it works really well. Oh man, there's that Jekyll and Hyde-ish shot with him cut straight down the center. Yeah, so good. Warped and twisted by his own science. So great. There are so many little things like that, and that just makes this episode lovely and really fun to watch. I had a good time with this one. I do kind of hope that we return to more like mobile police Patlabor things and do some more normally policey things, because this was utterly ridiculous. But I wouldn't mind some more ridiculous. This was fun. We'll call it quits there. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Patlabor episode 3. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I hope to catch you next week for more. If you have any insights on this episode or knowledge of other things that are being parodied or done here, throw them in the comments. I'd love to read them. I'm excited to see what anybody else has to say about this one, because it was weird and fun and glorious. Other than that, I'll see you next week for episode 4. Cool? Cool. Peace.